What is going on, guys? Coach Rob coming from Prevention Performance Training Studio, located in Long Island, New York. Today we are here discussing the compound lift series, specifically the bench press movement today. Bench press is a major lift that most people utilize. One of the big three lifts in powerlifting. Great compound exercise. Primary muscle group is going to be in the chest and pec muscles here. Secondary muscle group, a little bit in the shoulders and a little bit through the triceps to lock out and extend at the top. If you have pain with it, most likely means you're doing something wrong. So this is a great video for you guys to be watching. We're going to get down into the bench press over here on the bench, and I'm going to go over some of the cues and important things that I look for when teaching a client how to bench press and when I do it myself. So let's get into that. When performing the bench press or teaching a client how to do the bench press their first time, the most basic thing I start with is pack your shoulder blades. Packing your shoulder blades is going to be one of the most important things to focus on during your bench press, all right? We want stability through our upper back. So where the weight is loaded from, over our chest, we want the stability to be on the upper back side. We don't want to be non-stable in that area because that's where shoulder injuries happen and injuries happen. So number one thing to focus on, stability through the upper back, all right? And if you rewind and listen to what I just said about pulling your feet in, engaging your glutes, and bringing that chest up tall and really helping pack the back more, that's gonna help you stabilize more through your upper back. Next thing we're gonna focus on is our grip on the bar. How far are we gonna grab on the bar, all right? So to get chest more activated, you're gonna wanna go with a nice wider grip. It's gonna help recruit more pec muscles. When we're more narrow here with a narrow grip, we are gonna still be working the chest through the press movement, but it's also gonna incorporate more tricep activation to lock out the arm at the top. You'll see narrow grip, not as much stretch on the chest here, all right? More stretch through the elbow here, so stretch in the back of my tricep. That's why some people do close grip bench press for tricep movements. Ideally for me, I like to get my ring fingers on the lines lined on the bar, just about outside shoulder width. Not the extremely far ones, the little lines more narrow. Once we have our initial setup, feet grounded, butt on the bench, shoulder packed, our head's back, our hands are in the right starting spot, we're gonna lift the bar up over our chest here, all right? Before I descend the bar down towards my chest, I like to make sure that I have a good strong grip with my hands and that my wrists are nice and straight. A lot of the times I'll see people benching with what I call broken wrists or their wrists back into extension, and that's fine and all, as long as you're not dealing with any wrist or elbow pain or pain up the chain through the shoulder or whatnot. But if it's a lighter weight and you can control it, why not do it 100% correctly, all right? If you're working around 300-pound bench press, then I understand you having a little break in your wrists. But still, power lifters, they use those wrist straps to keep their wrists locked in and nice straight and nice and healthy. And I think it's a great way to practice and train until you need to break your wrists, until you need that bend, until the weight load is up to that weight. When that bar comes down towards the chest, a lot of people, when they first start bench pressing, they think it's just straight up, straight down, all right? The bar path in a straight movement. Ideally, there's a little bit of a hook, a little bit of a scoop through the chest. So the bar about in front of my shoulders and top of the chest, clavicle height, at the top of the movement, when we descend the bar and bring it down towards our chest, it's gonna actually drop a few inches, going to about nipple line here, all right? When I'm doing this descent, I tend to think about bending the bar like a horseshoe, as you can see me demonstrating here, and that's gonna help rotate my elbows in and create torque through my shoulder joints. It's also gonna help me bring the bar down to about the nipple height I mentioned earlier, and it's also gonna help give a nice big stretch to the chest. If I turn to the side here, pretend I'm holding the barbell, see that big stretch through the chest compared to elbows flared out here and more in the shoulder joint, more through the anterior delt, and not as much chest recruitment, all right? So bending the bar, gonna keep me into my back muscles, keep me more stabilized through my press. So it's definitely something important to think about when the bar is descending down towards your chest. From the bottom of the movement, it's important to understand and utilize your leg drive to an extent. Right? I say to an extent because a lot of the times I see lifters, especially when going with heavier weights, heavier weight loads, their butts are flying off the bench. And yes, they are strong. Yes, they are moving some weight, but technically speaking, that is not a correct bench press. All right. In a powerlifting event, that will get you disqualified instantly. So if you're just looking to move weight, not a bad technique. Definitely gonna make you look cool in the gym. If you're looking for a proper chest development, I would keep the butt down. Another thing, keep your head down. A lot of the times I see people going to bench, especially extremely heavy loads, and they'll descend the bar down towards their chest. And it's almost like when the weight's coming down, their head's popping up at the same time. And ideally, that's your body compensating. It's literally taking tension off your chest, all right? It's bringing the bar down, your cervical spine's going into flexion, all right? So pec muscles are shortening in length when ideally we want them stretched the most. So another important thing also will get you disqualified in a powerlifting event if that head comes off the bench, all right? So next time you're in the gym, notice someone moving some heavy weights, see if they're doing these things. I guarantee you if they're moving over 3 to 4 plates, their head's either moving or their butt's moving off the bench, all right? And if not, they're a true strong individual. All right, guys, so that is all we have today for the compound lift video with the bench press. Hopefully you guys took some tools, tips, techniques that you guys can utilize next time you go practice bench press. When I practice a bench press, I'm still trying to get better and better and better at them as I go. I've been weight training since about 14, 15 years old, and one thing I always focus on, my training doesn't really change too much. I've been bench pressing, maybe not every week of my life, but I've been bench pressing since about 14, 15 years old. And what I practice on when bench pressing is of course getting stronger, but also practice on executing some of the things I listed in this video. Grip strength, bending the bar better, feeling the ground and my back stabilizing better. So these are all things that you could work on year after year after year, strength period after strength period after strength period to try and get better and advance your lifts and body as a whole. All right, so execution over everything, guys. Hopefully this video helped you guys understand the bench press a little bit better. Hopefully these other compound lift videos help you understand other compound lifts as well. I think the next one we're gonna be getting into will be the barbell back squat, so be sure to stay tuned for that. Hopefully you guys found this useful. If you guys did, please subscribe. I truly appreciate all the support I get. I'm out here just trying to help you guys get better, help you guys develop, and hopefully we can all do it together.